is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new Integra. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Link, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Link. Be the maestro of your own home.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ADX. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The Sultan's choice for excitement and a caravan of savings awaits at Toyota of Hollywood. Your wish for savings has been granted with discounts of up to $4,500. Take a magic carpet ride in a Toyota Corolla, not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our grand bazaar where you'll find epic savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ZDX. Only $459 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. Ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The game is is final. Tua and the boys are in the locker room. Let's go over what happened in this game in our Dolphins Postgame Show with Big O. The Postgame Show is brought to you by Welton Rayom, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, Toyota of Hollywood, RM Contractors. The stats are final. The insiders are ready. The platform is mastered by the one and only Sean Stanley. Now, let's find out what the Big O thinks about this matchup as we start our Dolphins Postgame Show. Here's Big O.
All right. We got to win, man. Listen, the team won. Was it pretty? No. Was it some kind of a masterpiece? No, not at all. But what do you want to lose? What can I tell you? They won the game, and that's really all that matters. There are some positive things. Can we go and run off with them? No, not at all. But for tonight, we weren't sitting here saying, my God, 0-4, and you lost to the stinking Jets. To lose that's a bad football team. Folks, they had 101 yards of penalties, 13 penalties for 101 yards. They had 3 turnovers. They gave up 2 sacks. They lost by 6. So I love that they won the game. I'm talking about the Dolphins, but it's not like this is like, lifting my sails and like, oh my God, we've turned the corner and we're off and running and we're going to win 13 of the next 14. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy that they didn't lose to a crappy team and a really bad team that just beat themselves up constantly. And, I give credit to our team. They went out there, they got it done. They found a way to win. They forced some turnovers. They made some plays. McDaniel actually called a much more, what would I call it? A much more realistic game of the NFL where he added the run. There are things, listen, Achane. He was awesome, right? 18 rushes, 96 yards, a touchdown. He also had 1 catch for 2 yards, but Ollie Gordon still had 5 rushes for 13. And you've got to find a way to increase the load for Ollie and decrease for Achane a little bit. And you could use Achane more as a receiver, not a running back. Put him out in space a little bit more. I don't like the overusage of Achane as a running back, to be quite honest. I'd rather have him as a wide receiver. These are things, he lost a challenge, which is normal. There are things that I like. Look, we've talked about this many times, right? Get a tight end involved, give to a big body. You saw in the back of the end zone, you have range. Tua put a beautiful pass in the back of the end zone where only Darren Waller could catch it, not the DB coming across or the DB that's trailing Waller. Neither one could make the play. Only Waller could because Tua has the accuracy, but he doesn't have players like that normally. You know what I mean? So that was really good that Waller showed us what he can do. We got to pump the brakes. It's just one night. It's 3 catches, 27 yards, 2 touchdowns. The one in the back of the end zone was fantastic because the awareness to keep the feet inside, that was awesome. He has the ability. But, again, it's only one game. So, he's already missed 3 games. Let me see if he can do this week in and week out. And that's what this whole trick is. It's not to just show up once and then not do it again. You know what I'm saying? So we need to see a lot more, but it was a great start for Waller. And it was a great addition because they need a tall body. Even Julian Hill ended up catching a pass. Maybe we could start getting Ikini involved there, the big receiver. I would like to get that guy involved. Now that Tyreek is unfortunately not in the mix, you got to start get some bigger bodies involved. Give Tua bigger range. When I look at the Bucks and I see Baker Mayfield,
right? And this week, Baker Mayfield didn't have Mike Evans, who's 6'5". But in the process, he has the Egbuka kid, who is 6'2". He has Chris Godwin, who just returned this week, and I believe he's also 6'2". Let me see, 6'1". Okay, so at least you got a 6'1" and a 6'2" guy out there, along with Mike Evans when he's back, a 6'5" guy. You give Baker guys with range, and it makes his life a lot easier. It makes every quarterback's life, a lot easier. And Darren Waller can make Tua's life, because when you're throwing to midgets, you don't have a lot of area. It's very small windows, and if you don't paint them perfectly, you're done. You know what I'm saying? But when you have a guy like Waller, or if they can actually get the receiver from Tennessee that they signed and get him involved, get guys like that involved to make his life. That's why I hated Mark when Matt Collins left. Look, I saw him this week, help out May. And I'm just like pissed off that I'm watching Matt Collins catch touchdowns. And that's a guy that has range and is a terrific number 3, number 4 wide receiver, a complimentary guy, especially a red zone guy, all that other stuff. You need those kind of guys. Marino had all of those guys. He had tight ends like crazy, Dan Johnson and Bruce Hardy and Joe Rose and Keith Jackson. And, he had Farrell Edmonds. He had guys that had range, right? And then he also had like a Jimmy Cephalo, who was a taller receiver. Clayton was a 5'10" guy, but could jump like if he was 6'5", Then later on, you brought Irving Fryer, who was like a 6'2" guy, 6'3", that can run like a deer, and a Rondé Gadsden. You always had guys with range. Jim Jensen was a tall-ass H-back. All these kind of things help every quarterback out. And you've got to be able to do that. And today, little bit of a start. At least he got Darren Waller in there, and Darren was able to play. We'll see if he can maintain it, but that was fantastic. And that was an element that was missing from this offense, just like the running today. Overall, when you look at the numbers today, let me see right here. Let me pull it up, which at least this is a positive for the Dolphins. They ran 31 times, 123 yards. So I like this at least. You ran the ball 31 freaking times. I need you to run the ball at least 30 times in every game. I want a little more balance. I want a little more power in there. I want Tavon Achane maybe being more of a bit of a receiver, these kind of things. I can't ask that much from Mike McDaniel. Today, he called a much more normal game that I would like. And sadly, the Tyreek injury may force the Dolphins to play a more balanced game. I saw some of you guys say that on social media, and as always during the game, I've got tons of friends that are texting me during the game. It's like I'm watching the game, I'm trying to keep up with 100 conversations, and so it's one of those things that now you don't have that lazy approach that you have to feature everything around Tyreek. Now maybe you can bring a little bit more balance, and without Tyreek around, we're going to find out what Waddle's about. Okay, the Tyreek injury is terrible. You feel for the man. Obviously, there's a lot on the line for him, for not just this year, but for his future and everything. That injury gets in the way of a lot of things. That's another storyline that we can get into down the line. But right now, let me tell you, what this injury does now, it puts Jalen Waddle in the forefront now. And we're going to find out. We're going to find out if Jalen can be a number one. We're going to find out if he's Bam Adebayo. Jalen Waddle, you got Jimmy Butler in you, or you got Bam Adebayo? Because you're a really, 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 really nice young man. just like Bam Adebayo is a really, 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 really nice young man. Well, right now they need a little bit of a son of a bitch. So I want to find out now about you, Jalen Waddle. You know, we all wondered, well, is he going to be the number one? Most of us do not feel that Jalen Waddle is a number one right now. And guess who's earned that? Jalen Waddle. Because of his inconsistent play, because he drops footballs, because he takes plays off like Tyreek does, he's not a legit number one. So, what do we got? You've put up some stats. Can you be the guy now? Now the focus is going to be you're the guy that they're going to look at and say, well, we got to take care of that guy. And then we'll focus on everybody else. Hopefully the Darren Waller thing is not a shot in the dark and it's one game or two games and then he's gone and all that. And, we don't have that balance again. This is why the Julian Hill catch was. Did he only have one catch today, Julian Hill? At least? Let's see here. Yeah, one catch and 19 yards. So that's pretty damn good. I want to see Julian Hill involved a little bit more. He's not making as many mistakes so far through the first 4 games compared to the pace of last year was just unbearable. He's doing a lot less mistakes now, and he's now making some plays. So having Darren Waller around, I love if Tua can get 2 tight ends involved, that's such a beautiful thing. Like Lamar has that with Mark whatever the hell his name is, Andrews and Isaiah Likely. Like he's got 2 beasts at tight end. You know what I'm saying? I would love for Tua to have that, but whatever. Just give me 2 tight ends for him that can actually catch the ball. And I think it makes the offense so much better. So we're going to find out now about Waddle. We're going to find out. We're going to find out if this kid's got the cojones to be the guy. At least I give Tyreek the credit in that he wants to be the guy and he talks about it and goes after. Does he always come through? No, he doesn't. But at least I will give – I respect this about anyone out there, okay? I respect people that are not afraid to fail. I think that's a trait that we all got to have because you're going to fail, right? Don't you fall off the bike before you get on? If you water ski, do you just get up and start water skiing and never fall off? Or did you fall off a bunch of times before you figured out the balance? I'm just wondering. Did you just start writing cursive? I know, kids, you don't write cursive anymore. But for those of us that had to learn it, man, that crap was screwed up at the beginning when you're trying to learn it, right? And then you get it going. Then it's legible and it's understandable and all that, right? We fail at everything in life. We start shooting hoops and we start missing hoops before we start hitting hoops. You know what I'm saying? So everything in life is failure. You become a salesperson. The first few people you try to sell to, you look so uncomfortable. You look so out of place. You fail. And I respect that because there is no success without failure. None whatsoever. None. Does not exist. The scientist fails over and over and over and over again and has to rewrite the theory and the mathematical equation until they figure it out. But they fail a shitload of times. Right? Baseball, you go and you fail 70% of the time and you're a Hall of Famer. So in life, failure will test you, but that's what feeds you because you want to overcome and succeed. And so I give Tyreek credit that he wants to be that guy. I don't give Bam Adebayo that credit. Why? Because he never wants to be the man. He's good at being a facilitator. He's good at trying to make others happy. And that's who he is. You know what I'm saying? That's why I call him a of course, the super role player. You know, all the people that called him some kind of a franchise player, yeah, you're wrong. So is Jalen Waddle a franchise number one wide receiver? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to find out how hungry, how badly does he want it. We're going to see the times that he's not making any impact. How does he demand the ball? Does he want the ball? Does he get the ball? Does he make plays? We're going to find out. That's the one thing that kind of helps us too, right? Because Tyreek is done, unfortunately. He's never coming back. You know he was gone anyway. He was gone at the trading deadline if they weren't in the playoff race, which they were headed for that, or he's gone at the end of the year, or they were done with him anyway. So now he's done already with the team, unfortunately. We're going to find out now because we wouldn't have found out till next year if Waddle can be the guy. Now we're going to find out this year, and we've got 13 more games to go, and we're going to find out if he's got the cojones. Does he have the Jimmy Butler cojones, or does he have the Bam Adebayo cojones? That's because so far he's shown me he's more Bam Adebayo. Sorry. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. We appreciate that as always. Thank you very much. All right, let's start off here on Venmo. Anthony Lizzie. Thank you, sir, for the Venmo. He says more balance, throwing to bigger receivers, and we get a win. Where have I heard that before? Yes, thank you. Thank you, my friend. I mean, it's just like, okay, you run the ball, your team, everybody's better. The defense has to keeps guessing because you're not one-dimensional where you're passing. And then you start adding a guy like Darren Waller and Julian Hill now to the mix. Those are bigger targets for a guy like Tua. You don't want an Oompa Loompa throwing to Oompa Loompas. I didn't understand that. Do any of you think that fade patterns to Tyreek or Waddle make any sense? Do you know how perfect you have to be as a quarterback to drop a midget into a midget? Come on, dude. What are we doing here? I remember Dan Fouts. He's throwing it to Kellen Winslow up in the air. That's the way it goes, dude. You're supposed to be throwing it to people that have range. Paul Warfield was a ballet up in the air. So was Mark Clayton. That's what you need. Oronde Gadsden had freaking range. It didn't matter where you threw it. OG was going to swallow that football wherever it's at. It's a beautiful thing when you give quarterbacks guys with range, man. Wow, they become way better quarterbacks. So I appreciate you, Anthony. Thank you, my brother, for pointing what we pointed out so many times, how a lot of quarterbacks need that, you know. I just pointed it out with Baker Mayfield. He's got 3 guys over 6'1", 6'1", 6'2", and 6'5". And he's got there's a 4th guy in there also, like I forgot the name of the kid, but there's another guy there that's like 6'2" also. I mean, that's what you do with quarterbacks, man. Give them small or tall quarterbacks. Give them range. This guy that is old and has been there for the Chargers forever. What's his name right now, Sean? The guy from USC that was drafted like 15, 14 years ago. He's there right now, or for 13 years ago. He's still there for the Chargers. What's his name? He's a big receiver, has had range, helped out Phillip Rivers, and now helps out a little bit with Justin Herbert the last few years. I forgot his name. He's like an 8-time Pro Bowler or some crap like that. Keenan Allen. Thank you. Thank you, Roderick. You're a stud. Appreciate you. Thank you, Randy. You got it too. Appreciate that. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Kosa. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what was Antonio Gates? Range. Phillip Rivers could find Antonio Gates, and Antonio Gates was going to catch it everywhere. Quarterbacks need that, man. You can't just throw it to short people, you know? Sorry. You got to have a Jerry Rice and then a Dwight Clark. Range, baby. Range. It helps. It's like I don't even know how I have to explain this. If you've watched football over time, players with range have always made quarterbacks so much better, dude. You think having Art Monk didn't help out every quarterback with the Washington Redskins? You think having Justin Jefferson in Minnesota for Kevin O'Connell makes the life of the quarterback that everybody is there? Just throw it in his area. It doesn't matter who the hell you are. Don't worry about it. Justin Jefferson will come down with it. It's a beautiful thing, dude. And we don't have that right now. And Waller is the closest thing right now to that. Some guy that's retired and a bad rapper, and we're counting on that guy. It's crazy shit. This is our lives. Adam Pinkser, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. Too kind. Oh, I love beating the Jets, but losing Tyreek takes the wind out of my sails. And you're right. If Tyrod Taylor had played, the result could have been different. Oh, my God. I am so happy Tyrod Taylor didn't play. Hey, by the way, Justin Fields, 20 of 27, 226 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, ran 7 times for 81 yards and a touchdown. Justin Fields didn't play a bad game. He's not a great quarterback, but for him, that's a pretty efficient game for Justin Fields. That's a terrible team, and you barely beat them by 6 points. It's crazy. What else? Not to mention the Jets had to make 100 mistakes just for Miami to got a win. I know it's a win. We're happy. We're Dolphin fans. We don't want to see them lose, of course, and especially to the stinking Jets or the Patriots or the Bills. But yeah, you can't sit there and think, like, fill your head up with a bunch of crap like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. Ho Yoon, thank you, sir, for the amazing generosity. Thank you, sir. Good night, and enjoy the good night because they got the win. Enjoy the night in Jacksonville, my friend. Appreciate you. One day, Ho Yoon. One day, you and I. Thank you for your generosity, my friend, and your support on the program. Thank you for the love on Venmo. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can send your questions, comments, and insults there. Not a problem. And even a compliment if you happen to have one. You know, it's fine. Alec Blanco, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. Big O, as a Finn fan in my 20s, all I know is pain. Your show is the only thing I look forward to each week. McDaniel will be stubborn and not to adjust to the offense with Hill out. Did Ollie bang his wife or something? Never seen a coach hate a power back so much. Alec, I don't know, dude. I for the life of me, I can't explain it. And here's the thing. I'm living Reggie Bush again. And I'm so effing pissed because we got Reggie Bush and all of a sudden Sperano, rest in peace. I'm sorry. Okay. You know, he's a good man, but he was very mediocre when it came to offense. And I have to speak the truth here. It's the explanation. And you got Reggie Bush and you used him as a running back that year. And that disgusted me. He ended up injured by the 16th game. He was injured in the 15th game, so he wasn't available for the last game of the season. And he had a decent year. He got just over 1,000. Could you pull up the numbers for me, Sean, on Reggie Bush's year? He got like 1,000 yards or something. It wasn't like, oh, my God, he was an amazing running back. No, dude, because he doesn't have any power. He's not that guy. And these speed backs and scat backs and third down backs and all that, when you try to make them running backs and then the poor guys, they throw their bodies around like they think they're that, and all they're going to do is break in half and wear down. And I would rather get H.N. in space, and I'd rather pound the shit out of you with Ollie. I am so with you on this, but I don't understand this stuff. You know, I just don't understand this stuff. To me, it doesn't make sense. And I watch this, and those of you that follow the show, you know, last year I was shitting bricks. By the end of the year, in the last couple of games, I was terrified that H.N. would blow out his knee because they were wearing the hell out of him, And then, you lose him by the end of the year and he's out for the following year. And I was terrified of that. And thank the Lord it didn't happen. But it's the same shit again. Why does he need 19 carries? Why? Yes, sir.
He ended up finishing the season with 1,086 rush yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, 43 receptions, 296 yards, and a receiving touchdown.
How many yards per carry?
Oh, it doesn't have the yards per carry.
It doesn't? Well, do me a favor. How many carries did he have, and how much was the yards?
I don't have that. I went through Wikipedia. They had it on for 1,086 yards.
Carries. How many carries?
Oh, it doesn't have that. Oh,
no, many. It doesn't give you how many carries he had.
It says overall in the 2011 season, he finished 1,086 rushing yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, 43 receptions, 296 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown.
Wow. Okay, that's weird. But I know it wasn't any. I mean, 1,086 yards. That's nothing. That's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's not an impressive number or anything like it. It was such a waste to do that with him. So, Alec, thank you for the love on Venmo.
It was 216 carries, 1,086 yards.
Oh, you said how many carries?
216 carries.
Okay.
And it was the first time he ever rushed over 1,000 yards in his career.
5 yards a carry. So, and again, it wasn't like, anything incredible. It was decent, but that's not how you use Reggie Bush. This is not how you use Devon Achane. And when he gets injured, if he gets injured, I will be incredibly pissed if he gets injured because you ran him into the damn ground. Joel Delgadillo. Thank you, sir, for the love from Dinuba, California. Thank you. I appreciate you in the Venmo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ray, thank you, my friend. He says, we got a W. Good night, my brother. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Very, very kind of you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Matthew Toffler on Cash App. He says, for always being correct about Tua. Thank you, my friend. It's just, I'm glad they called a more balanced game for the kid so he can actually survive. Offensive line is still not good enough. But, hey, man, we'll take what we can get. You know what I'm saying? Antonio Roque. Thank you, sir, for the love on Cash App for their bad and dirty. Yes, they are, my friend. Yes, they are. All right, what do we got on the Super Chats there, sir? What do we have in the Super Chats? Corso says, am I dreaming? Did we actually win? Yes, Corso, we actually won, my friend. We actually won. Yeah. And I got to tell you, it's a game that wasn't pretty, right? And sometimes you wonder, okay, how did we get here? Right? And the only way we find out how we get here is the Sloman's key decision of the game. So what was it? Sean Stanley, let's find out what the Sloman's key decision of the game was.
What was the deciding moment? Who made the right move? Where did the game change? It's the Sloman's key decision of the game. Make the smart decision to protect your home and family by calling Sloman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME, serving Americans for nearly 100 years. Here's our Sloman's key decision of the game.
All right, folks. I'm sitting beside myself today because I have to sit here, okay? And while it wasn't perfect, but I got to compliment Mike McDaniel. I do. I have to compliment Mike McDaniel because the key decision of the game is balance. And today, Mike McDaniel brought balance. He ran 31 times. He threw the ball 25 times. Interesting. Pretty good. He got big receivers involved, as Darren Waller got 3 balls for 27 yards and 2 touchdowns. Julian Hill caught 1 ball for 19 yards. So all of a sudden, now Nick Westbrook-Akini did catch 1 ball. You know what I'm saying? It's only for 1 yard, but, you got him at least involved. But the idea of balance, of running and running more than passing, okay, so you could keep the defense thinking balance, I thought was a beautiful thing. And so to me, I got to give, again, not perfect today. I won't say I love everything about Mike McDaniel's game today, but let's give him some credit when he deserves it. Today, he did more of what those of us that have common sense for football and what we've been watching and how you can complement your quarterback a little bit better so they're not, running for their lives because all you do is pass. Balance today. Balance. That running game was huge. HN, a little used too much, 20 carries for 99 yards. It's a little too much for my liking, but overall, I like it that they ran it 31 times. So balance was the key decision of the game. And the key decision for you is the Sloman's Shield Link, which combines professional-grade security monitoring with cutting-edge smart home automation. Homeowners can lock doors. You can adjust the thermostat, switch lights on or off, view the camera feed, and you can even create automated routines from a single dashboard. It is so easy to use, 24/7, all-in-one control, advanced protection, personalized automation, and the best thing, peace of mind. You can be in contact with your home at all times. You can know when anybody is approaching, delivering something, whatever it is, you can control it with the Sloman's Shield Link. Give them a ring. That is the key decision of the game. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME for the Sloman's Shield Link, and tell them that Big O sent you.
Our key decision of the game is brought to you by Sloman's Home Shield. When you want to protect your home, family, or business, call Sloman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME.
All right. By the way, tomorrow we'll be at Hialeah Park at 2 o'clock. Okay? 2 o'clock. All right? So we get to sleep in a little bit, which is good. We've got Chris Perkins coming up. We've got David Feronis. They are wrapping up with the coaches and the players. Sean, any news coming out of the locker rooms? Are we hearing anything? Because it's one of those, this one kind of sucks because you want to celebrate, you want to win, but you lost a teammate for the rest of the year. So that there's like a somber mood in that locker room where they're happy, but they're kind of hurting because they know they lost a big piece. And it'll be a nice challenge for this team now. We're going to see how one can coach and how the others can play out of it. Yes, sir.
Mike McDaniel has confirmed it's a dislocated knee for Tyreek Hill. He said the star wide receiver is staying overnight at the hospital.
All right. Wow. Screwed up, dude. It's a brutal game. It's just a brutal game. And it shows absolute zero mercy. That's the screwed up part about it. Zero mercy. And stuff like this happens and changes people's lives, changes the team's direction. We just lost Barkov, dude. It's like, holy crap. It's just, it's really scary. And the Barkov one was nothing in practice, no contact or anything, just really weird. It hasn't been a good week. And I know for us Dolphin fans, it's just absolutely brutal. All right, what do we got next, Sean, on the Super Chats? Let me catch up here. What do we got? Alex Brown. Can you tell us that Tyreek story from last year? I will once they're not part of the team, still part of the team. Okay. But you have a hell of a memory. But yes, you'll get the juicy story. Don't worry about it. But I gotta wait for the right time. Corso, thank you for the love in the super chat, sir. We're going streaking. Is KFC still open? Hey, if it is, Get me some apple poppers. Wow. Addicting, those apple poppers. Love them. Thank you. Next up. Man of 1,005 holds. McDaniel's stuck with the run. Tua is healthy. How about those two things? The O-line has actually improved the past 2 weeks. Get well soon, Hill. Yes. And let me tell you something. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to call it like I see it. Tua slid late. He didn't slide on time. He put the defender in a really impossible position. And because his goofy ass slid late, he put himself even more at risk to get hit. Because quarterbacks are so, it's one of those things that they don't want you touching them in a game. I think the Tua thing, okay, I'm going to say what most people will not tell you in that moment. The Tua injury history came to his benefit there because he slid late. If you're objective about it and go back and look at it, he slid late. He did. The guy was already pretty much launching himself by the time Tua started deciding already to slide. So it was hard for him to kind of change his trajectory. So I would blame. We got the break. I'm a Dolphins fan, as you can tell back there and all that. But I do this show objectively 100%. And since I also know that he got lucky, and I'm telling you that his injury history, referees are going to call that even faster for him than any other quarterback out there. So that helped him. But you know what's going to hurt him? His terrible decision-making about his body. He still got lucky in that play. And he still slid way too late. He needs to make that decision faster. He has to do it for the sake of his health, not for the sake of, I can get one more yard. Because that one more yard is where he ends up with. Okay? You want to be honest? You want to call it like it is? Slide right, dude. You slid late on this one. I don't know how many people are going to call you out for it, but I'll call you out for it, bro. Somehow or another, you still don't get it. Next up, sir. It is Matt Glass. Best thing you said was, what did this win do? Still 1-3. Yeah. It's in order for this to matter, you would have to go on a hell of a run and get to like 5 and 6 and 3. And then you're like, okay, well, we really got out of this. You know what I'm saying? But if we're going to go up and down and all that, we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. Can McDaniel stick to the run? Does he panic? Can he bring more balance between Ali and Achane? Will Waller be a factor again next week? All these things. We've got to, it's like we saw some good things here, some elements that we like. Okay, can you start to put that together more consistently week in and week out and make it more of your identity of who you are? And these are the things that we're going to find out, and it's nice to see it, but we need to see more of it. Tua didn't make any bad decisions today. Guys didn't do any stupid things that created more terrible situations for your quarterback. So, again, a little cleaner. But, again, you're playing a terrible team. Okay? So, let's not also look past that. Next up. It is Karoon. The camera guy pulled a Coldplay on Jason Taylor. The Taylor family had good, man. Hey, the son did well today. What were his stats? Hey, by the way, Mason, even through the helmet, you see the baby face. 5 for 65. He was the second leading receiver. Another positive, Garrett Wilson got like those yards at the end, but he ended up for 6 for 82 with a touchdown, and he wasn't a major factor. Pretty good for the Dolphin defense because that's a guy that can be a real pain in the ass. So that was good. Next up, It is Adam. Adam, thank you so much. He goes, I am happy for the win. At the same time, I am not happy when I know that the Finns are only going to win 6 or 7 games, 8 if we're lucky. I know, man. I know. But what are we going to do, man? What are we going to do? We love them and we're stuck with them. Next up, thank you, Adam. Appreciate you. Corso, some of y'all need to chill and just enjoy the win. Yeah, dude, enjoy the win. I know we're not good. I know we're not perfect. I know we're far from it. We're very imperfect and all that, but I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and root for them to lose, want them to lose, or I'm going to be mad because they didn't lose. And like I told the guy in the morning when some guy sent in, oh, don't worry about it. If we lose, it's all good. We get a better draft pick. And that thinking has gotten us nowhere for 40 years. The better draft pick or all that stuff, none of that ever. Hey, the next coach. Hey, the next GM. Hey, the next owner. All that. We've done all of that throughout the years, and we think that we always look at the next corner and say, oh, this is it. This is the one. It's going to turn us around. And let's just live in the moment, okay? If you know what the hell you're doing in the draft, you'll find players all over the draft. I've always said that. But to want to root for your team to lose because you want to get a better draft position and then you end up with Ronnie Brown or Jake Long, which weren't worth the number 1 and number 2 picks, what does that mean? You want to end up with what was the name of the number 3 overall pick? We got a 1, a 2, and a 3. The linebacker that day, the pass rusher, Deion Jordan. There you go. Jake Long 1, injury history, boom, bad pick. Ronnie Brown 2, terrific human being, decent player, was not worthy of the number 2 overall pick. Deion Jordan, you trade up for number 3, and you think it's all going to be great, wasn't even worth it. You know what I'm saying? So let's just drop that. Stay in the moment. I'm with Corso on this. Y'all need to chill out. Enjoy the win, dude. I don't want to lose to the stinking Jets. Oh, man. I'm sorry. Next up. And I don't like Mike McDaniel. I want his ass fired a while back. But what are you going to do? Matt Glass, he says, when does McDaniel lose his job? Oh, if it gets ugly, I'm sure it's coming. They'll make a change at one point or another, unfortunately. If it gets ugly, unless we're all going to go on a big winning streak now. Next up. That's it. All right. Thank you out there. Appreciate you all with the super chats. Very kind. We are waiting now. Don't know which one's first, which one will hit us first, but David Feronis or Chris Perkins from the South Florida Sun Sentinel, they are both lined up to join us. So we shall see. We shall see what we shall see in the Denver game, which is not really a game. It's 28-3. The Bengals don't have their quarterback. I mean, it's kind of like, done pretty much. the Bengals, unfortunately, until you get your quarterback back, they're not going to be able to overcome, unfortunately. All right. We've got to get to our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game. Somebody was a difference maker. The question is, who was it? Let's go with our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game.
Who brought the edge? Who changed the game? Who is our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker? When you want to give your home or business the edge, call Cutter's Edge Pro in South Florida for all your landscape solutions. Here's our Cutter'sEdgePro.com difference maker.
I am going to go with 2 linebackers for the Miami Dolphins who were all over the freaking game. And Jordan Brooks had 18 tackles today, 15 solo. Tyrell Dodson, who was a terrific pickup last year in free agency, that they have a tendency of finding guys. He had 9 tackles, 5 solo, had the sack, 2 tackles for losses. I mean, Tyrell Dodson played one hell of a game, and the two linebackers just absolutely brought it today. To me, they were incredibly impactful. You needed your defensive coordinator came out this week and talked about playing with violence. When you have 18 tackles in a game and 15 of them is solo, I think you're playing with some kind of level of violence with Jordan Brooks. And when Tyrell Dodson is all over the place with sacks and tackles for losses and 9 tackles in on himself and 5 solo, I think you've got a 1-2 punch there that made a nice impact in today's game. Was it beautiful? Was it perfect? No. But without those two guys, you probably don't end up winning the game. Just like in life, you will not end up winning the game if your house doesn't have any landscaping, because the value will go up. Your house, your business will look better. I'm telling you this, I have tested it out in my backyard. I've got like an oasis that is growing and growing now, and more percentage of our yard is getting under shade, and it is a beautiful thing in South Florida when it gets hot to have shade. So you can actually hang outside with the dogs. I've got the artificial turf where my dogs have been doing their business for over 3 years, going on 4 years, and it looks absolutely beautiful. If it is effortless to keep it up. And on top of all of that, by the way, you save a lot of money with artificial grass, which is great for the dogs. Why? You're not watering and you're not cutting the grass. So it's paying for itself in the long run, which is a beautiful thing. Call my guy, William Quigley at Cutter's Edge Pro. They do it all out there, 954-472-0622. They've been at this for a long, long time. Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties. Again, not only improving the value of your home, but it also, you make it a lot more comfortable. You know, a lot of homes now are trying to cover their houses with more trees around it. Why? Those trees end up absorbing the heat instead of the walls of your home, and the AC ends up working less. So you end up saving electricity. It's really interesting. Check it out, how landscaping can help your home and the way you live in your home, which is a beautiful thing. Talk to William Quigley. Great people out there at Cutter's Edge Pro. And again, Brooks and Dodson, they brought it, man. They were our Cutter's Edge Pro difference makers of the game.
The Cutter's Edge Pro Difference Maker is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com, servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com, providing South Floridians the edge every day of the year.
All right. Let's see. Devin Jordan, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, Big O, the Dolphins, we're lucky the Jets keep getting all these penalties. Yes, dude, bad team. And you are 1,000% right, Devin. They were absolutely lucky that today the Dolphins played a bad team. But what am I going to do, man? They won. They ran the ball a little bit more. They did some things that I wanted them to do. They played a little bit better football. Are they a good team? No, they're a bad team. They're a bad team. And they're where they've been for years, maybe a little less. Maybe they're not where they're at that they can beat all the bad teams anymore and lose to the good teams. Maybe they're at the point where they're going to lose to the good teams and they're going to lose to some of the bad teams now. Maybe they're kind of right there now instead. You know, instead of the 9-10 win team, maybe they're more of the 8-7-6 win team now, you know, and this is why you lose the first 2 games of the season, because you're more of the 5-6-7 win team now is probably what you are. And, you know, it is what it is, man. Unfortunately, I know I'm not here lying to myself or any of that. I understand what you're saying 100%, but at least I'm happy they won. I'm grateful for that. Bag on head. Thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, God, I just watched the Finns beat an awful Jets team. I'd like to say I'm excited, but I've seen us beat bad teams. The best development was Waller. Yes. Yeah. We've been talking about that for a while, and, you know, yeah. Yeah, it was good. And hopefully Waller can keep it up too. That's the part I want to see now, is I want to see him keep it up. On Cash App or Venmo, we love the super chats, but YouTube takes away 30%. Okay. Venmo and Cash App, we get 100%. You can do it there. We appreciate it. Andrew Watson, thank you for the love. He says, Sugar, downtown, uptown, around the town, transatlantic, legendary stallion of host of Finn's World Media, Big O. Waller was a legit weapon. He was long and strong and was down to get the friction on for two TDs. You are my boy, Big O Blue. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you. Waller was a stud today. Great start. Now you got to keep it up. That's what we need now. Now I need to see it, and as I said earlier in the show, now I need to see Waddle become a stud now. It's your show. I need you to become a dog. I don't want to see you become Bam Adebayo. Peter German, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. He says, happy for a big win. D showed up with some turnovers. I won't be negative on a day with a win, but I had to send out an SOS to McDaniel looking for Ollie Gordon and Malik Washington in third, fourth quarters. I mean, dude, only an insane person would argue with you on that. And we talked about it. It's not a matter of complaining or anything. It's just we want to preserve Devon Achane, And as I've explained already a couple times, it reminds me a lot of the Reggie Bush situation. Make him more of a pass catcher than a running back. Use Ollie Gordon as a running back more. Pound him with Ollie, and then you can dash him with Achane, but then use Achane out in the open field, man. That's what I want, because I know Achane out in the open field will be an absolute freaking tear. So that's where I'm with you. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate you. Appreciate your loyalty, and thank you for your generosity, sir. Joey says, dogs need to eat grass to help balance their own equilibrium from time to time. Make sure they get real grass now and then. Just saying, LOL. No, sir. They don't. They don't. Grass is not good for them. No. You don't want your dogs eating grass. That's actually not a good sign when they're eating grass. Anyway, Big O, who do you think steps up on the wide receiver room? Well, you're going to have to rewind. I talked about that already, what needs to happen, my man. XJ, ban those uniforms forever and bring back the orange uniforms from the Ricky Williams era. I like those too. Because they have the old logo. I think the black ones would be pretty cool, or whatever they are, dark blue or whatever the hell it is. They would be better if they had the old logo and then make it more where it stands out, because that logo kind of gets hidden away in the helmet a little bit. And I'm glad, because that whale is just absolutely horrible. So I'm glad that it gets hidden. Sean, any news coming out of the locker rooms at all? Anything? Nothing earth-shattering, huh? Wow.
No, the interviews seem to have been done and wrapped up, so I'm guessing they're probably finishing up their stories and should be on momentarily.
Okay. All right.
McDaniel just said the time away from without Tyreek during practice will help the team with him not being around anymore right now.
It's going to be tough for Tyreek, dude. That guy craves attention. And now he does not have a vehicle for it at all. So he's going to be streaming mad now. And I don't mean like in the sense of that he's going to be mad while he's streaming. I mean, he's going to be streaming a lot. That's what I mean by that. And he does all that normally with gaming and all that, but he won't be able to move around as much. So he's going to be doing a lot of that. Yeah. So you'll see him in that sense. We'll see what happens. Wow. Yes, sir.
This is a stat for Justin Fields. Warren Sharp from Sharp Football put out, Justin Fields has led his team to an 0-25 record when opponents score at least 21 points. He's the only winless quarterback out of 46 eligible QBs in this sample over the 5 years, in the last 5 years.
Wow. Man. That's crazy, dude. That is about it becomes like a brutal indictment on you when it's like that bad. Now, he's been part of a lot of bad teams like he is right now. And I can't blame all the mistakes that happened today on him because he wasn't the one making all the mistakes. So today, if you put it in context, do we really blame him for that? See, that's the problem I have with some of these stats like that. It's not fair to the kid. Like today, it's not really on him overall. I got to blame the team because there was a lot of blame to go around. He actually played all right, considering I don't think he's very good. He actually played all right. Played a decent game, you know. The Big Bear, thank you for the love on Cash App. With Tyreek's injury, will he be back next season? No, sir. He's done. It's over. But it won't be official until the end of the year when they release him and all that. They'll do the injury waiver thing and all that. So that all has to play out first and foremost. But eventually he'll be released at some point right in the offseason before March, before the new year, he'll be off the roster at that point. They'll make a decision at that point. What were you going to say, Sean? I think you were cutting in there.
Yeah, there was two things because I don't know if you saw yesterday. They got when the Saints were playing. What's his name? Spencer Rattler, right? I think is the quarterback. He's now 0-10 as a starter, and I was like, look at the teams he's on. I mean, it's like okay, you know. And then also the one thing that again some of the I don't know if they're really doctors. But there's something saying with the dislocation, sometimes you get issues with the arteries and circulation. So the injury might be a more serious. We won't know until later. Right. But
it really, I'm going to be cold here a little bit. Okay, that really only matters to Tyreek. The Dolphins are done. He was never coming back anyway. So he was going to either get traded in the deadline or get cut at the end of the season, and they were going to move on anyway. So the Dolphins were going to move on. What you actually feel more for Tyreek, to be quite honest, if I'm going to be brutally honest now, he has to come back from a major leg injury. He has to prove he's back. So now he can't even come close to demanding any kind of money that he thought maybe he could have demanded as a free agent. And with his off the field issues and all of that, he will now have to take a much lesser deal with a bunch of incentives because he's going to have to prove himself. And he's got 800 kids with 500 baby mamas. Yeah, this is really this is the worst thing that can happen to Tyreek because he knows that he will be jobless at the end of the year. It's rough. All right, let's go to it, baby. Our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins post-game report with the one and only David Feronis.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Feronis is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Feronis.
Rod. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, David Feronis. And David, today, it's a win, but thank the Lord they were playing the Jets to get that win, bro, because, wow, They just beat a really bad football team.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we expected. That's what I expected going in, that it wouldn't be a win maybe because you felt the team looked so great, but it would be because the Dolphins are facing the Jets. I actually had this game just 1 point off. My prediction was 27-20, and it was only because they went for 2 and got it that was incorrect, and it was 27-21. But obviously, yes, the Jets are a bad team. I don't come away feeling like this is a win that definitely springboards the Dolphins going forward. Obviously, that is with the added caveat that Tyreek Hill is likely not coming back this season after that gruesome injury. That kind of mars the any positive feeling toward just getting the monkey off your back of a win is that there was that injury as the backdrop.
Yeah. And let's first of all, we'll get to the injury for Tyreek. Let me get first to the win. Bad team, and they found that least a way to win. Is something going on, Sean?
Yeah, Dave, can you mute your mic? Whatever the noise is drowning out. Oh, I can't hear.
Oh, I think it won't be an issue. It was carting some stuff driving past me. But
it was Lou. It was Lou. Did you say Lou?
No, just stadium employees carting different things across. Yeah.
If it was Lou Zabala, I was going to rip his ass. Anyway, dude, I get it. It's ugly and all that kind of stuff, but they won, so it's good and all that. So I know that the big picture, I understand it's not. But here's the good positives about it. Dude, they ran the ball 31 times. They got a tight end. They got a big body person involved that pass to him in the back of the end zone. He has never had that. He's never had a person that could do stuff like that. So there were a couple things at least that I really like about it, overall that we had not seen. They moved Tua around a little bit to throw the ball. They changed the launch point. They ran 31 times. So to me, all that kind of stuff really helped in the game. And I thought the more balanced approach was very pleasant.
Yeah, I was saying I think there's one big bodied pass catcher that Tua's had because that first touchdown almost hitting the goalpost, that reminded me of that touchdown Mike Gesicki had in Baltimore, where it was basically the same thing, like just throw it at the goalpost, that crossbar, and Mike Gesicki goes up and gets it. Now he's got someone like that in 6'6", Darren Waller, and kind of everything you just said. That's what life after Tyreek will be for this Dolphins offense. Now it's going to be now Mike McDaniel is forced into going heavy to the run game because now that'll have to be your focal point. So Devon Achane getting 20 carries for 99 yards, the team overall rushing 31 times for 123. Ollie Gordon still only 6 times, so that was fewer actually than in Buffalo, but but Achane had such a heavy workload and was effective with his. Malik Washington will sometimes get involved in those end arounds like Deebo Samuel did in McDaniel's offense in San Francisco. So it'll be that, and now you have your Darren Waller to go throw to in the red zone.
But do you agree with me that this pace with Achane is unbearable? You should not be. You should give him 10 carries, and use him more as a wide receiver and increase the carries and the load for Ollie, bro, and pound teams and bury them in the second half. Use that hammer and hit these people, bro, and then pop it with Achane in space, bro. To me, this is Reggie Bush all over again, and it's driving me crazy. It really is.
Yeah. So it was the opposite with Achane this time. It was all those carries, but then they only got him the ball one time on a reception, 2 targets. So he had been used so much in the past game before, and then maybe his carries would be a little lower, maybe like in the mid-teens or actually, some of those games they barely ran the ball. So, around 10 or so, but all those receptions. So it's almost 21 touches overall, but. But it's much more physical when it's carries in the run game, and those start between the tackles. Sometimes it's the wide zone stuff and going to the outside. But he's going to be taking hits on that smaller body when he's carrying the ball that much for sure.
Yeah. How did you think Tua played?
I mean, he really just managed the game. It was he didn't have to do too much. He played with a lead early on. Was able to get the ball to Darren Waller early. So, I mean, his first play, that third down, that gets Waller into things after he had been away for so long and making his debut with a new team. So that really had to help Waller just getting his feet wet, and probably led or helped lead to then later being comfortable in this offense to score those 2 touchdowns. So got that going early. He didn't have to do too much, and he didn't turn the ball over. So when you're running the football, which they ran more than they passed in this game, played with a lead, then you don't require too much from your quarterback. And then he managed the game fine. It was good enough to win and beat the Jets.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I thought that's and that's what you're supposed to make your quarterback do: manage the game and not have to go crazy and try to do everything for you, because that's not who he is as it is. And so if you can run and give him a balanced attack, and it's funny that you mentioned it, that the Tyreek Hill injury is going to force them to play like this. That's kind of sad, isn't it? Like, we should have been playing like this from the get-go.
Yeah. I know you're a big proponent of it. It's true. That's the balance that the offense really needed.
Your partner loves it.
Oh, yeah.
Your partner coming up loves it. He wanted to run.
Yeah. No, same. I'm with it. And almost as much because they needed to go to the run game in order to open things up for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And also, I mean, Tyreek was having a great game. 6 catches on all 6 of his targets. You saw a little bit them working it downfield. So, it was a shame that it went that way, because, he was on pace to have a 100-yard game. That happens very early in the second half, and he finished with 67. So he was working well in this offense with the run game going and Darren Waller. So there were a lot of positive elements to take from it. And then now you're going to be without him.
You agree with me, right? He's done. Like, it's over for him here with the Miami Dolphins, unfortunately.
Yeah, we were saying in the press box, I was sitting right next to my partner, Chris Perkins, who will join later, that that could be the last image that we see. I mean, could be is probably very safe terminology. It seems more likely than not, because we already kind of figured this was his last year, and already maybe speculating toward the trade deadline if the Dolphins were really in a bad position, which starting 0-3, you kind of feel that way that he could be dealt by then. And then now it's just over. No word confirming that it's over, but you dislocate your knee like that. It's not the look of an injury of a guy that's coming back later in the same season.
Yeah, but it looked nasty. It looked it was like just one of those where, and then you really you think about his big picture now. Oh my God, he doesn't have, like, he won't be able to really command the kind of money he may have thought he wasn't going to be able to get top dollar anyway because of the baggage and everything else and the age. But now, oh my God, if he can come back from this, it'll still be. He's going to be taking a deal that's so much smaller and filled with all kinds of incentives. And with all his other issues that he has going on in his life with the baby mamas and the kids, oh, dude, there's a world of hurt coming his way, unfortunately.
No doubt. And so it's unfortunate for him. And it was a game where you saw him just so fired up at the start of the game. There was that image, that video of him at the center of the whole team huddle and pregame warmups. He's, headbutting certain guys. He's hyping them up with like jabs to their shoulder pads. And, you saw him really pumped up for this game, got his teammates going, and it was having a really solid game, moving the chains, big third down catches. Now, obviously, we talk about the 6 for 67 at the time that he went down very early in the second half. So, it was kind of like things were looking up for him in this offense, but now obviously the injury and then big picture for him, it's devastating personally. And then for the Dolphins might be the last of Tyreek with this organization.
All right, so the question of the night, and don't forget, folks, to smash the hell out of the like button. The question of the night is, Tyreek down now, Jalen Waddle step up. And, a lot of us were wondering, hey, will he step up next the number one? And you're like, well, wait a minute, if he's going to become the number one, right? Well, we don't know if he can. Well, now we're going to have 13 games to find out if he can become the number one. So is he Bam Adebayo or is he Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, that's the big question that he's got to answer, and he certainly got paid like a number one. Now, there's been so many wide receiver contracts since, but at the time he was already, wasn't it top 5 in one of the either average? I think the average, because it was 3 years. I got to look back at what the contract was, but average annual value. Then he was up there at the time of the extension, but. So he got paid like a number one, like a number 6 overall pick. And now he's kind of, after his first year, his rookie year, he's always had that Tyreek to lean on. So he's just complimenting Tyreek as a number 2. So now he's got to step up and be a number 1. There's been a lot of times where I feel like I haven't seen that from him, but sometimes it's getting thrust into that you have to be that when a player rises to that level. So I'll be very interested to see if he does.
He's shown me to be Bam Adebayo, not Jimmy Butler. That's where I'm a little concerned. I want to see if the dog in him comes out when it's all said and done.
Yeah. And obviously, small sample size today, but I was going to say it's not like we saw him in that second half go and become that guy. But the Dolphins were playing with a lead, 3 plays later, they take a 2-touchdown lead going to Waller. So not going to judge it off of that, but it's not like he exploded off of Tyreek's absence. But now a lot of targets should be going his way, and he'll be expected to create separation, get open, and make plays.
All right, so with Waller, did you see him in the locker room? Everything good?
Yeah. Everything good as far as
yeah, because to me, that he did that, but now he's got to hold up now week in and week out and see if he can do that.
Yeah. I mean, all indications. I didn't see anything that would incline me to believe he came away with anything. Sometimes things do pop up a day later and whatnot, but. Yeah, I mean, excellent game for him, and he spoke about it. He was up at the podium, so saw him. Everything looked great. So, but yeah, I mean, that first catch, then he gets into it. From the very first play, and really, it was just 3 catches. It was that one to get going, and then the 2 touchdowns. So, very efficient night for him.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and exactly an element that they needed desperately in this offense. All right, what do you got going in the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, just wrapping up coverage from tonight, putting it all together on this win, and then also covering the Tyreek Hill reaction. And I think the follow-up story tomorrow will be about now moving forward, life after Tyreek for this offense.
We'll find out. Follow him on Twitter at David Feronis _, and of course, catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, thank you, my brother. Have a terrific night. We will catch up later in the week.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
You got it. There you go. David Feronis and our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins post-game report. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom are here. They can help you here in Florida, by the way. They've helped some of our listeners on the west coast of Florida, up in the Gold Coast, Treasure Coast, South Florida, Central Florida. All kinds of listeners have called. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, car injury, truck injury, anything that happens, please call them. Never call the insurance company first. Call them. They will send their adjusters, and then they will call the insurance company. You'll never have to deal with the insurance company. They will handle it all. You will just pick up a check at Welton Rayom. Call Jeff and Dan right now. Well, tomorrow, whenever you've got a problem. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Feronis. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
In this game, you want to figure out a couple of things. And one of them is, who was the MVP? Who was the real person around everything happening tonight for the Miami Dolphins, where they ended up with the victory over the stinking New York Jets, 27-21. Who is the Moody's Dental MVP of the night?
Who's last night's MVP? There's only one MVP for your family's dental care.
Moody's Dental. Get your smile back at Moody's Dental. Visit them on Instagram at moodys.dental.
Here's our Moody's Dental MVP of the night.
Got to go with Devon Achane. This man weighs 142 pounds. He's got the heart of a lion. He is fearless. I don't agree with using him 20 times for 99 yards. He averaged 5 yards a carry, caught a touchdown, had a 21-yard run. Also, by the way, caught one pass only for 2 yards, but you know he can catch a lot of passes, and he can run, and he can make a difference, and that's exactly what he does on a consistent basis, and what he's done now going into year 3 with the Miami Dolphins since they drafted him out of Texas A&M in the 3rd round. Devon Achane has just continued to make an impact. No matter where you put him, as a receiver, as a running back, it does not matter, okay? Since they plucked him out of college, this kid has been an absolute stud, and today he was the dynamo of the offense. There were a couple of guys. Tyreek Hill was looking terrific. He probably would have gotten that award today if he would have kept going at the pace that he was going. I agree wholeheartedly with David on that one. I think Tyreek Hill had a real good chance to become an MVP. But Devon Achane's the guy that got it done, finished the game, and carried the ball like a stud, dude. Even though I don't believe he should be carrying the ball 20 times and that body should be taking it. But anyway, Moody's Dental, great place for your family to go. That's where my family goes in Dade, 305-821-0231. In Plantation, 954-692-6825. You can go to their Instagram page, follow them there. You might be getting discounts or maybe tips or anything out there at moodys.dental. Get your smile back with our friends at Moody's Dental. Invisaligns, dental implants, preventive care, cosmetic surgery, family-oriented, family-owned. My entire family goes there. Yours can too. Moody's Dental, and we go with Devon Achane as our Moody's Dental MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by Moody's Dental.
From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams. To schedule an appointment in Dade, call 305-821-0231. In Broward, 954-692-6825. Follow them on Instagram at moodys.dental, providing MVP smiles every day of the year.
All right. He is ready to go. He's locked and loaded. He is the predictor. He is Chris Perkins and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame report.
Time to go to the locker room, Miami Dolphins fans. Let's find out what's percolating with the one and only Chris Perkins in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame report.
All right, Perk. The predictor, you said, yeah, don't worry, it'll be easy. They could get back to 2-3 with no problem. Here we go. You know, I was messing with you last week when Carolina won 30-0 against Atlanta. I was telling you, are you sure it's going to be that easy? Well, Perk, halfway through your goal there after tonight's win. How about that?
How about that, man? Big O, they produced some turnovers tonight. They rushed for over 100 yards. They started their third starting right guard, played their fourth right guard, right? Because you went from James Daniels to Keon Smith to Daniel Brunskill to Cole Strange. They were able to do some good things on special teams. They forced the fumble, and they didn't make any boneheaded plays. They let the Jets do it to themselves. 12 penalties, 101 yards, catching the punt on the inside the 5-yard line. So, yeah, they were able to play a smart, efficient game, not a perfect game, because that run defense, even after Anthony Weaver asked the defense to play with more violence, that run defense kind of got violated, didn't it? But
the two linebackers played with violence.
They did. And
those guys flew around, man. Perk, I think we just keep if you look at the way they're doing stuff, they double Sealer a lot, and he was able to make a couple plays today, but they kind of phase him out because they know that they can just pick on the youngins.
Right.
On the youngins, and the youngins still, it's going to take them a little while to kind of figure this stuff out.
They're young, and Anthony Weaver is kind of doing the humming while he figures out what this defense can do, right? Kenneth Grant looks like a rookie. Jordan Phillips looks like a rookie. Matthew Butler looks like a guy who hasn't been a starter his whole career. But they are trying to do some stuff. We saw with the secondary, they put Jason Marshall Jr. on injured reserve, but you saw some 3 safety looks out there, right? With Minka and Iffy and Ashton Davis. We saw Dante Trader Jr. coming in there. We saw Cornell Armstrong coming in there. So, Weaver is trying to figure out what he can do with this team. I did not like the fact that, what did they allow, 177 yards rushing? I think 76 of it was on that first drive where Jack Jones punches the ball out. 115 of it was in the first half. So they did settle down. Or maybe they allowed 197. I think that's what the number was. That's exactly what it was. So now all 4 opponents have rushed for over 100 yards, if I'm not mistaken, but you got the win and you were able to hang on and do some good stuff. The last 6 quarters, this team has played better, more efficient football. The outcome, look, you would have liked for it to have been better than 27-21, but you got the victory. There's right. When you're 1-3, style points aren't really going to be a factor, are they? So they got the victory, and Tyreek is out. You still got the victory. So happy days are kind of here again until you start facing reality of offense without Tyreek. Then sad days come back.
I mean, if you're at a point where you're demanding stuff from the Dolphins, you're delusional. You know what I mean? If they can eke out a win, dude, just be happy that they eked out a win. And we're not sitting here talking about 0-4, and you just lost to a really bad Jets team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You barely beat a really bad Jets team, which kind of sucks. But, hey, man, at least you found a way to win. You brought more balance. You added a big body to the offense, which Tua never has.
Yep.
And, that pass in the back of the end zone, you can't do that with Oompa Loompas, which is what you try all the time. Well, that's why you brought in a Darren Waller. We'll see if he can maintain it. But, dude, tonight, what a great start for Darren Waller, and what an addition and factor to the offense.
Yeah, and look, he did some things that you thought the NWI, Nick Westbrook-Akine, was going to be able to do. Yeah. But that touchdown reception, right? I mean, Tua throws a nice pass between 2 defenders, Sauce Gardner and I think Stevens, the safety, was the other one, number 21. Waller at 6'6" goes up and makes a nice grab, and then he uses some athleticism to get that left foot down, that second foot into the end zone. So that's really what you want to see. Like you say, that's why you got Darren Waller at 6'6" to be a target like that for Tua. And, we'll see if it continues. Obviously he's not going to get 2 touchdowns a game for every game the rest of the way. But, as long as he's a viable target and he's a viable receiving option, that's going to help out a whole lot. The combination of him and Achane and Ollie Gordon, you've got the potential to do some things. You're not going to win 10 games and win a playoff game, but you've got the potential to do some things. So let's see what they can turn that into. Look, it's good that they aren't getting overly excited about this. I'm in the locker room and I'm asking guys, is this kind of feels like it's more than one of 17, but they were able to compartmentalize and say, no, this is just one of 17. We get to celebrate it tonight and tomorrow, but then we've got Carolina coming up. So it's good that guys weren't overly giddy about beating a bad team at home, which is what they should have done since, right, everybody thought that was going to happen since the day the schedule was released. So they are kind of keeping this in perspective to this point.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how it all turns out, but at least, hey man, you found a way to win the damn game.
Right.
And we'll see if next week you can make it 2-3, and at least you start to feel a little bit better about the damn season. At this point. Now going back to this matchup, first of all, let's focus on the running game. You ran 31 times, which I absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing I don't love, and you've been around long enough, you're Speranoing my ass right now, because when you got Reggie Bush, you used him as a running back instead of using him as a pass receiver. And that was just so dumb that year. Reggie even ended up injured in the final game of the season. He couldn't play to help them out and all that. And so it was just one of those deals where it kind of felt like a wasted year because he's so good in open space. Dude, I don't want 20 carries for Achane. I don't want to see him carry the ball that much. I need him to carry a little bit less, give Ollie more carries, and use Achane more as a receiver. Use him out in the open field a little bit more. Running between the tackles that many times with that body, I know he's awesome. God bless him. I know that he's going to want to prove that he's that. You've been at this a long time, Perk. You wear down, bro.
Yeah.
Just wear down doing that.
Yeah, that's not how Achane is built. That's not how this league is built, right? I mean, the guys who are that size, eventually somebody's going to ragdoll you and you're going to get hurt. That's not what Achane does. Achane is a guy who uses speed and elusiveness and moves, not power. And I know that Eric Studesville, the running backs coach, has pointed out that a lot of times this season, Achane has had guys moving backwards and that he's moving forward. He's falling forward. That's great. I mean, that's great, but that's not going to continue for 17 games. Like that's not the way this league is. It's not kind to running backs who get 20 carries a game at 191 pounds. So yeah, you do have to speed up the learning track for Ollie Gordon. They did some good things in the running game, but I just don't know that it's sustainable with Achane getting 20 carries a game. I think he was 20 for 99 tonight, I believe, right, is the number. So very nice job by Achane, but you do have to figure out another way so that you can give his body a little bit of a break. So it's got to be more Ollie Gordon. And, look, you had to do whatever you had to do tonight to secure the victory. But, starting at Carolina, you need to really start feeding Ollie Gordon and try to get him, 10, 12 carries a game to see what he can do.
I would love that. That's exactly the way I'm thinking too. Okay, so David Feronis said something that I think a lot of people are thinking, and I wonder if you're thinking the same thing, and it's kind of twisted in a way. Did the Tyreek injury, is it forcing Mike McDaniel to play a more balanced game now? Is it forcing him to kind of adjust instead of centering everything around 10 and then everything plays off of that? Now maybe you need to be much more balanced, and that's what we saw tonight. Is that by design or by desperation? Which one is?
I'll believe it when I see it. Mike is a guy who should have been running the ball more 2 years ago, and he never did. And so he's in love with that passing game, and hopefully he does not fall in love with Darren Waller from the standpoint of forcing the ball to him. If Darren Waller earns it, okay, but I just don't trust Mike going to the run. We should have seen this numerous times in the past. Hopefully he will do it. Hopefully he will have a more balanced offense. But Big O, you know what I've been saying about this offense since December of 2022. It's about two things: Tyreek Hill and the threat of Tyreek Hill. Now we'll see if McDaniel can adjust, if he can get off of that. You know, he's been addicted to Tyreek Hill, and we'll see what he does now that Tyreek is not an option. Hopefully it is a more balanced run game. Hopefully they do fast track Ollie Gordon for that reason, because it's out of necessity that you need him. It's not out of a luxury of needing a balanced offense. It's out of necessity that you need a balanced offense. But I've got to see it to believe it.
Tyreek done, right? I mean, that's kind of what I'm telling everybody, that you won't see him again in the Dolphins uniform, because they were going to either trade him at the deadline, or if they were still alive, then they'll hang on to him, obviously, till the end of the season. And then they were going to let him go anyway. By the time the new year rolls around in March, they weren't going to guarantee any more money, and they were going to move on. So now it looks like from here on out, Tyreek is done, right?
Yeah, I would say that's 99.9%. He's set to charge more than $50 million against the salary cap, and if they had planned on keeping him, they would have extended that contract and eased that financial burden, but they never did it. And he's got the NFL investigation into the allegations of domestic violence from his estranged wife. He's 31 years old. He turns 32 in March. He's not coming back to the Dolphins. I'd be shocked if Tyreek Hill played another down for the Dolphins. So, personally for him, Chris, with all the baby mamas and the babies, and he now will not be able to earn the kind of money he could have earned next year. Maybe not the big money, but he would have earned at least some decent salary. Now with this injury, oh man, this limits his earning power for next year. Correct. You're coming back as a 32-year-old off of a dislocated knee. You're a speed guy. You've got to wonder what's going to happen to that speed, and it's probably not going to be a good thing. So we'll see what happens there. It's always funny. I was telling the guys before we went into the locker room tonight that in pro sports, it's kind of morbid, but you never know when it's going to be your last time seeing somebody in the locker room. And that's what it was for Tyreek with us this week, that we'll probably never see him in the locker room again, because, once you're injured, you're on a different schedule as a rehab guy. You're in there early in the morning doing your work, and you're out of the way before the healthy players come in. They used to say back in the day they didn't want the injured players to infect the healthy players, but that's kind of what it's like. You do your rehab early in the morning, and you're done by the time all the healthy teammates get in there. So, Tyreek, when Tyreek was fun, he was a lot of fun. When he was smiling and acting a fool and, being Tyreek in a good way, he was, what a great personality, and a guy who could always put a smile on your face, but
engaging.
But there was always kind of that off-field knucklehead version of Tyreek that you were going to have to deal with. But a very durable guy. The only game that he had missed previously was that 30-0 victory over the Jets that followed that Tennessee loss, where he got the horse collar tackle and the hip drop tackle that put him down. Strangely enough, the Dolphins scored 70 points without Jalen Waddle. They scored 30 points without Tyreek. Tonight they scored, 27, kind of, partially without Tyreek for half the game. We'll see where this offense goes, but it's probably not going to be good. And I would say that, yes, we probably have seen the last of Tyreek in a Dolphins uniform.
Okay, so with Tyreek down, somebody needs to take the mold of the number one guy and take over. And we've seen stars or supposed stars in this town get paid. And so the question I have for you, the Miami Heat have gone through this. Will the Miami Dolphins go through this? Because the Miami Heat paid Bam Adebayo to be a franchise player, and he is not. He is, as I call him, a super role player. He's not a star. And so Jalen Waddle has been paid like a star receiver. Is he going to be Jimmy Butler or is he going to be Bam Adebayo 2.0?
Yeah, he's going to be Jalen Waddle, which is one of the top number 2 receivers in the NFL. That's who he is. That's what he's going to be. He's not going to be a productive number 1 receiver in the role of Tyreek Hill. That's not who he is. That's not what he does.
Man, he's a Robin.
Right. He's a Robin. Exactly. That's who he is. So look, I would say that, trying to replace Tyreek with a Tyreek is a bad strategy for the Dolphins. You have to figure out what's going to work best for you. Off the top of my head, I would say that having Devon Achane be your number 1 offensive weapon is what's going to work best for you. Whether he has to do it as a runner, whether he has to do it as a receiver, we'll see. But here's the problem, and I can equate Tyreek to Bam Adebayo in that, Bam does not make people around him better. Tyreek did. Tyreek took attention away from Devon Achane and away from Jalen Waddle. He made Tua's
that is true.
Correct. He made Tua's life easier. He made Mike McDaniel's life easier as a play caller. Like, he made people around him better. Right. Achane's not at that level. Waddle's not at that level. Tua's not at that level. Frank Smith's not at that level. Mike McDaniel's not at that level. You have to kind of search around for the next 7-8 games and see what's going to help you win games. But you don't have a 1-for-1 switch out there. Nobody can do what Tyreek did.
By the way, did anybody tell ESPN that Frank Smith is not the play caller?
I don't think so. It's, you know what? It's we always joke that someday Steve Ross is going to walk into the locker room and look at Frank Smith and go, "Hey, Frank, what is it that you do again?"
Yeah,
but yeah,
it has Frank Smith play caller, and it's like, and I'm getting texts from people all over the place. Hey, Frank Smith is calling the plays. I'm like, watch the game. The guy with the glasses has the play call sheet and there's the mic. Don't you see him? It's like, yo.
Right. You can't miss it. Like, you can't miss it. Right. You can't make that mistake. Right. Whether you're ESPN or whoever, you can't miss it. Right.
Well, like, what are you doing, ESPN? What is this, dude? Just do your homework. The guy's on the sidelines. He's been calling it from day one since he's been here. Exactly. And he will not relinquish that fights at all.
Nope, he won't. He won't. You would break his heart. You would break his spirit. Yeah.
So officially, you've got Waddle like I do. You've got him being Bam Adebayo. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's reality. It is a rare player in any sports league who can make people around him better. That's not a fault for Bam. Bam is an all-star. Bam is an Olympian. He's not a superstar. Being a superstar is a different thing, and there's very few of those guys in any league. Every team does not have that type of a player. Now the Dolphins are without that type of player.
I love how you phrased it. With Tyreek, you had to scheme for him. Okay, where's that son of a bitch going to be? Okay, we gotta make sure the safety's alert, all that. He scared you, and you had to be worried about him. And that's, when Jimmy Butler wanted to play, you would have to be worried about him. But nobody fears Bam Adebayo, and and that's the sad part. Nobody fears Jalen Waddle. Wow.
Right. You respect him, but you don't fear him.
Yeah, you don't fear him.
Yeah.
Great stuff. All right, follow him on Twitter at Chris Perk and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Perk, what are you working on there in the Sentinel?
Well, you know what? I'm going to write tomorrow just about whether this was one of 17 or whether it was something a little bit bigger. So, I like what I heard from the players in the locker room, compartmentalizing this win. They're not making too much of it. If you would have beaten Buffalo, maybe you could have made more out of that win, but you beat a team at home that you should have beaten. And so I'm glad that it appears that the Dolphins realize that. I'm happy that they're able to keep this victory in perspective. So that's what I'm going to write about. And look, by the way, let's give the coaching some credit here. Mike McDaniel, and you mentioned Frank Smith and Anthony Weaver, Craig Aukerman, the special teams coach. It's not easy to get these guys focused and on track. Again, you were playing the Jets. Jets, a bad team at home that you should have beat, but you've got to get these guys' minds in the right place, just on the Jets, not on the Jets, and then Carolina, and then we can be don't take the Chris Perkins approach, right? Take the Dolphins, take the NFL approach 1 week at a time, and they got them focused. So congrats to the coaches. Nice job.
Yeah, everybody gets some love today.
Yep.
You won, bro. You won,
Yep.
and
Correct.
just sure you couldn't go to 0-4. All right, Perk. Appreciate you, my brother. We will catch up next week. Safe travels to Carolina.
Yep. All right, Big O. See ya.
You got it. There you go. Follow him on Twitter at Chris Perk, and of course EJD Construction. Man, Eric has been a sponsor of ours. Yeah, all 5+ years here on the platform, but other years also in other places where Sean and I have been. And EJD has been doing great work here for over 20 years here in Dade and Broward County for homes, by the way, not condos. And they do custom home construction, major home remodeling. They are fully insured, liability and workers' comp. So they do it all for you. Shell construction, in-house. That's how they keep the costs down. They are reliable. AAA plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. And Eric, I'm going to give you his cell number so you can call them. They are fully insured, folks. So everybody that works on your property, if anybody gets hurt, they are not suing you. If you don't hire EJD, whoever you do hire, make sure they are fully insured and licensed, okay? Because there are people working out there that they're not licensed and they're not insured. And if something happens on your property, you're the one in trouble. You're the one that's going to have to pay. That's not good. Deal with professional people that are fully insured, like EJD Construction. 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins post-game report with the Sun Sentinel's Chris Perkins. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDConstruction.com is the custom home builder and contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Peter German, thank you, my man, for the love on Venmo, Cash App, or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App, or Venmo. Peter says, nobody is saying it, but I need to give a shout out to our kicker, Patterson Riley. Yes, he did. He should get a Perdomo and a shot of tequila. You know what? I'm with you. Let's give Riley, he came in a tough situation, filled in, marvelous, did a great job. Let's give him a victory cigar, Sean Stanley. Hey, man, listen, I'm not going to kid myself. I know this was an ugly game. I know it wasn't, like, super pretty and something I'm super proud of or anything like that, but I'd rather beat the Jets than lose to the Jets. And you saw how bad they were? Man, would have been really bad to lose to them. It would have really sucked. Don't forget, folks, to smash the hell out of the like button while you're watching at any time. Hector Clavijo said Waddle was the number one guy as a rookie. He was Batman. You guys contradicting, saying Tyreek was super durable and he's a clear number one. That year, he was a number one, but it was just like a possession receiver. He was an inside receiver. It wasn't really outside. You know what I'm saying? So that's different. He showed me toughness, that he can be a possession receiver, but that's not number one, my brother. He was number one because he was our best receiver, but we used him as a slot receiver, if you remember correctly. So he wasn't really breaking out a lot. We didn't use him the way you're supposed to use him on the outside. That's how, if we're going to be honest, and we're going to call it the way it's supposed to be, Hector. Okay? Dolphin says there just seems to be more bad news for the Finns. We'll see if they can evolve. Yeah, man. I mean, this is who we are. True Fin fan, the dislocation is much worse than most understand. There could be a starvation of blood from the artery that could cause permanent damage. How quick they put it back in place is crucial. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's bad. It's bad. That's why he had to go right away to the hospital to get that thing, fixed right away. And hopefully everything will be all right. Hopefully he can come back because, man, that guy's got some financial issues coming up. I hate to put it this way, but that story will not end well. I don't know how else he's going to make money to pay for all those kids and all those women. It's really crazy. Don't be shocked if Hill returns as the kicker. He still has one good leg. Yeah, but the bad leg he would need to use as, like foundation in order to kick with the other leg, or vice versa. So yeah, you need two good legs, my brother, to be a kicker. But nice try. Oh man, you guys are a trip. Let's see. All right, folks, we are out of here. We appreciate all of you. It's already past 12, and I need to get some rest and rest of voice. Did 3 shows today. We thank, of course, David Feronis. We thank Chris Perkins. We thank the great Sean Stanley. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock live from Hialeah Park. We will. We appreciate all of you out there. Those of you that hit the like button, thank you. Tuning in, thank you. Sharing it, thank you. Those of you that sent in a donation, we appreciate you. Visit our amazing sponsors. We appreciate that also. Make sure when you visit any of our sponsors, Acura Pembroke Pines, Toyota of Hollywood, Subaru of Pembroke Pines, All Year Cooling, Sloman's, Laser Eye Center of Miami, make sure you mention our name, okay? Welton Rayom, Caneswear, R&M Contractors. Mention our name. We'd appreciate it immensely. All right. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Go Dolphins.
You've been listening to our Dolphins post-game show with Big O. The broadcast is brought to you by Welton Rayom, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, RM Contractors, Toyota of Hollywood, Caneswear, Sloman's Home Security, BigCheeseMiami.com, EJD Construction. The broadcast is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley. Thank you for supporting the platform and our fantastic sponsors. Go Fins!